So a friend of mine asked me to look at her confuser. She works in theatre. This is why it says wing. Does not power on. ETC Nomad Puck. Apparently these were quite pricey back in the day. There's a DC input. Thanks for telling us what polarity it should be. Luckily we do have, which we think is the original power supply, which is a 19 volt 3.42 amp centre positive. So let's just check this power supply first. Switch that to read DC volts. And centre positive. But nice healthy 19 volts. Off load, but yep, looks okay. So let's just quickly plug it in and just make sure we can replicate the fault. Yep, no bueno. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing apart. So there's 4 screws on the bottom here. If you compare this thing to a £500 Mac Mini, it's a very different kettle of fish. I'm not sure how old this is. I mean, if it's quite some age, then it's probably very high tech at its time. So there's 4 screws removed from the bottom. Get this last one out. And what happens next? There's a couple of jack sockets we've got to watch out. Okay, so the bottom just comes off. And we can check which way around it is. This heatsink bit here goes onto the NVMe RAM, and just to double check, yeah, the bezels line up. Okay, yeah, so it goes back in that way around, and then we have a nice little confuser. And there's the 4 screws we took out. Is there anything else holding it in? And it looks like we just have this one little fella here. No expense spared. And there should be nothing holding this in now. Maybe ease the jack sockets off here. There we go. Okay. That's really cute. So let's have a closer look. Well, it seems very clean in here. Nothing obvious. I suppose there's lots of bits that need to be reseated possibly. But everything looks really good. This is the NVMe RAM, which is probably quite a big thing in its day. There's the power socket. It's possible we have a bad connection there. And here's the on-off button, which looks like it's got an LED inside of it as well. Yeah, quite an exotic button. Let's see if it works. So I set my meter on continuity, so we get a beep if it shorts. And then we'll check across the pins. Press the button. Oh, nothing. Let's just check the other side. No connection at all. We expect it to be short across these terminals. And just one more idiot check. So let's plug it in, and we'll initiate a self-start by shorting out the 2 pins. Ooh, we have light, and the fan's going. That's a good sign. Oh, we have some flashing lights. We have a boot screen. Boot screen's gone off. This is still doing something. That is the quietest fan I've ever heard. And it looks like it's fully booted and it's asking you to please connect your console mode, whatever that means. So we need to look for a button like this. And for all your fan aficionados, this is the Delta Electronics BSB05505HP DC brushless. Definitely one of the quietest I've ever heard. So yeah, as you can see, this switch has the LED connections built into it. It's fairly exotic for this UK country, but I shall see if I can take some measurements with my digital calipers. So the closest one I can find is on DigiKey. I'm not sure exactly what voltage the LED is going to be running at, but this does look like a very good substitute. It's not exactly the same, but the overall height is correct and the footprint looks pretty close, so I have to see if I can find a UK supplier for this part. But just in case there's anyone out there who knows the part number for that switch, let us know. Catch you next time.